I'm Brittany. This down here is Penny. We did a 5-week training class where she was conditioned to a clicker. The clicker is a secondary reinforcer. Her primary reinforcer is treats, but the secondary reinforcer lets her know that she's doing something good and she's going to get rewarded for it. So we conditioned her to the clicker the first week, and within that first week, well, within the first day really, she was taught that every time she heard the clicker sound, she got a treat. And from there we moved on to the free shape behavior. Her free shape behavior is this right here. It's something that she does naturally that we later added a cue to. And every time she did this behavior, at first I didn't ask for it. She was clicked and treated for this specific behavior. And then we moved to adding a cue to that behavior, which is sit. Okay. Sit. And she sits, and she was clicked and treated for it. And then after that, we moved to partial reinforcement, where excuse me, she was not given reinforcement every single time she did the behavior. She went from 2 for 3 first, which she's either given a treat every 2 to 3 times she does the behavior, or variable reinforcement, which is she gets it every 4 times she does the behavior is I think the max that I did it. And so she would be asked to down, and she'd get good girl. Okay, and then I would say down again, and she did it, so she would get clicked and treated for doing that behavior again. We moved on to targeting, which is a behavior that they either touch a target stick with their nose or paw, or they touch your hand. I switched from target sticks to my hand pretty regularly. So I can say touch, and she runs and touches it with her nose. She likes to lick, which is okay, I don't mind. And then we moved from that to extinction and DRA. Her behavior is the same. I used it for both extinction and her DRA behavior. Her extinction and DRA behavior is to not jump on me, which she did jump on me earlier, but I'll explain that in a minute. The DRA is differential reinforcement, where they get reinforced for doing something that is not doing that behavior. So instead of jumping on me, would be all 4 feet on the ground. And the extinction is the opposite. She would get ignored for doing the behavior. And I think the reason she sometimes still does jump on me is because people come over and I forget to tell them, don't let her jump on you, or if she jumps on you, don't ignore her, or something of that nature. So she's still somewhat getting the hang of not fully jumping on me all the time because she gets really excited. And then we moved on from extinction and DRA behavior to generalization. Generalization is where you take them out of their specific environment of where you train them all the time, which for her it was inside the house, to somewhere other than that. So I took her to the dog park, and or I took her in my backyard or my garage, places she's not used to doing the behaviors, and we did generalizations for sit, lay down, thing, and touch behavior was part of it too. And she would get confused sometimes and run away, but you just kind of have to lure her back, and then she would get treated more often, or less treated, like less treats if she was doing it correctly, because then we were moving on to partial reinforcement, which I talked about earlier. Sit. Good girl. And then we did the behavior chain. The behavior chain is where you take a group of behaviors, like handing you the remote or putting their toys away, and kind of teaching them how to do that with you just telling them one thing. And for her, we tried the fetch behavior, and she got way too confused with the back chaining. on that behavior. So we moved on to trying to get her to do a set of behaviors she already knew in an order. And she was still getting confused, like, if I do it now, she'll only do like 2 of the behaviors. So I'm still working on it, about getting her to fetch and do the other behaviors. But we went back to something that she's been having problems doing, like she doesn't do it when we tell her, because she doesn't necessarily want to go in every time we tell her. So I moved back to going backwards and doing her to get in her kennel. Which is very helpful because when we leave the house, we don't leave them out. We put them in their kennel. So I would tell her to get in her cage. And she's getting in and sitting down, waiting for me to shut the door. So she would wait for me to shut the door, and then when I would open the cage, she's supposed to wait before, and then I would let her come out. And she sits down, and she gets a click and a treat for doing all of the behaviors, which is very beneficial for us when we have to go and put them in their cage because we're leaving or something of that behavior. So this is our training video. I'm Brittany, and this down here is Penny, who's still jumping on me. So this is our training video.